Good morning, guys. John Ruffle here. Now, I've got a challenge for you today. A lot of you guys watching don't think that Catholic priests have got a clue when it comes to the gospel. Today, I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm going to do that by showing you a clip, which I've got permission to share with you from our local parish. And I'm going to show you, first of all, Deacon Bill Baines reading today's gospel. This is 28th of March, 2022, Monday. It's a Monday morning service. Deacon Bill is going to share today's gospel. And then right after that, Father Gary Buckby is going to share a meditation on the gospel today. And I think some of you guys are going to be really surprised to see what is being said in our local parish church here today on Monday. Right, here goes.
The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. Jesus left Samaria for Galilee. He himself had declared that there is no respect for a prophet in his own country. But on his arrival, the Galileans received him well, having seen all that he had done in Jerusalem during the festival, which they too had attended. He went to Cana in Galilee, where he had changed the water into wine. Now there was a court official there whose son was ill at Capernaum, and hearing that Jesus had arrived in Galilee from Judea, he went and asked him to come and cure his son, as he was at the point of death. Jesus said, "So you will not believe unless you see signs and portents." "Sir," answered the official, "come down before my child dies." "Go home," said Jesus, "your son will live." The man believed what Jesus had said and started on his way. And while he was still on the journey back, his servants met him with the news that his boy was alive. He asked them when the boy had begun to recover. "The fever left him yesterday," they said, "at the 7th hour." The father realized that this was exactly the time when Jesus had said, "Your son will live." And he and all his household believed. This was the second sign given by Jesus on his return from Judea to Galilee. The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus.
There's an article in today's Daily Telegraph reporting on how hard it is to get to see your GP at the moment. Apparently, some people are suggesting that you get an appointment by telephone and you have to wait 3 or 4 weeks before you actually have that phone call conversation, by which time, of course, you're either dead or better. But I wonder whether the court official felt the same frustration with Jesus in today's gospel, the second sign, as we heard recorded in John. What did he want? Well, he wanted the divine physician to make a home visit. Come home, 20 miles or so it is to travel from Cana to Capernaum, and look after my son who is extremely ill, close to death. And just by way of a little aside, when Jesus says, "So you will not believe unless you see signs and portents," he's not speaking to the court official, he's actually speaking in plural. Really, it should be translated, "unless you all believe in signs and portents." But here's the thing about today's gospel. This court official might well have argued the case with Jesus. No, you don't understand. I need you to come, and come now and see my son, he's dying. But he took Jesus at his word, turned around, and began the 20-mile walk back to Capernaum. And it struck me, that is what faith looks like. You know, faith isn't a feeling, and faith certainly isn't intellectual knowledge. It is rather trust in who Jesus is and what his promises actually are. I suppose it begs the question of all of us, to what extent do we entrust ourselves completely to the Lord Jesus? I'm reminded of our final Mass on our pilgrimage to Poland, what seems like a lifetime ago now. And I wore a chasuble. It was a very extravagant Eastern European chasuble with lots of sequins and glitter on it, but it had on the front, and if you're Polish, forgive my translation, it had on the front these words, Jezu, ufam Tobie, which means, Jesus, I trust in you. Your faith and my faith is not intellectual assent to something that we believe to be true, contained in a catechism or a book somewhere. And neither is it a feeling. Sometimes feelings, religious feelings, go high. Most of the while, if you're like me, they're low. None of that's faith. It is quite simply to take Jesus at his word and to do whatever it is that he invites, trusting simply in who he is and his promise.
Well, that was Father Gary Buckby from Our Lady and St. Rose of Lima Catholic Church here in Birmingham. I'll put a link up so that you can find it later on over there. And I think that might have woken some of you guys. It's a very short homily because Father Gary preaches 7 days a week. Okay. If we put the Sunday message up or the Sunday service up, he'll preach a lot longer. But every single day he's on YouTube and he's preaching. And I think that is wonderful. All the services are being streamed on YouTube. And back to the core there, Father Gary is saying that our faith has to be something of the heart. And he mentioned that vestment he wore in Polish, in Poland, that said, Jesus, I trust in you. And some Catholics will remember that image of Jesus with that underneath. I remind you of a t-shirt I once made that said, it starts in the heart with Jesus. It's the same thing, just different words. Our trust has to be in the Lordship of Jesus Christ. And I put this up today because a couple of days ago, I did challenge people. I said, go find a Catholic church and sit in your Catholic church and find a good Catholic priest and talk to your Catholic priest if you need help. So there's proof positive today that there are some great evangelical, sacramental, surrendered to Christ clergy in the Catholic Church who don't just believe the headlines. And I hope today is just giving you a little insight into what being a true Catholic really means for me and perhaps for you as well. Thanks so much for watching. This is John Ruffle. God bless you. I've got another video coming up today that I made earlier, but I wanted to put this one up because I think it's an important message and gives you a good insight into why I am a Catholic.